Hello, everybody. Welcome to Speed 5, and tonight we have Masters of Universalis.
Duels.
All right. Kanor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm warmer than I normally am because of this outfit.
Do we not look amazing right now, though? I think we absolutely look amazing.
Yes, of course we do. I'm slightly jealous because, of course, you have a full outfit on, and I'm just, medieval from my waist up, which, I'm pretty happy I don't have a codpiece on, to be honest. I just assume that they did. But
the only thing that I'm missing is the hat, because the hat really made that outfit come together, but you still look great.
It's the one just above Lady Magnus over there. Unfortunately, it doesn't work too well with this headset, and I'd rather hear our casters and players than look amazing, which, it's just something I have to live with.
All right. So today I'm super excited for our challenges, our duels today, rather. So we have Laith and Traxium up for the first duel.
Mm-hmm.
And it is called Voltaire's Nightmare. I'm super excited about both of the duels today, though, because they both center around the HRE. And the first one, so their goal as Austria is to maximize the number of princes in the HRE.
Exactly. And now when I read this the first time, I was like, provinces? No. And Lady Magnus, of course, corrected me and was like, no, it's princes. What's the difference?
So the princes are who you have like in the HRE and what controls it and whatnot. So luckily, I guess for us, I actually just played Austria in my own personal game offline, which was really fun. So when I saw what our duels were containing today, it's going to be really, really fun, I think. I'm really excited to see what they actually can accomplish and what they do in the 90 minutes that they have.
Exactly.
So we will be playing on Speed 3 today.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what they can accomplish. And then the next duel, of course.
The next duel of the night up to battle it out is Kara is returning, and this week she's facing up against Absolute Habibi. They are playing, hold on to your butts, Ruina Imperi Celeri, which essentially means that they're tasked with destroying the HRE as the smallest nation possible. Of course, we're going to talk to Count Christo before the second duel and get more insight into that and what that means, because of course, like, they have 90 minutes and they can do multiple attempts. Now, like I said, we're still playing on Speed 3 this week, unfortunately, so that might change things a bit, but we did see last week that the sorry, lost my train of thought there for a second. We did see that doing a restart at the right time when you're recognizing that something's gone wrong can actually be beneficial, or rather, we theorized it might be.
And they can do different things with this as well. I mean, if they want, they could play as a large country. So if they want, they can start out as Poland and see how they want, if they can dismantle the HRE as Poland, or they can just start as a tiny little province to just start. Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing. So we'll see what their strategies are for this once we get them on screen and talk to them.
But that is the second duel. So first up, it's Duel 1. It's Voltaire's Nightmare. How are you feeling? Should we drag the players in here?
I think it's yes. Let's drag our players in here. Hello, guy. Laith, how are you doing today?
I'm all good. How are you?
I am excellent. So would you like to tell us what your strategy is going to be, or do you want to keep that?
I don't want to reveal too much. I like to keep things a secret. I think the main thing that's going to help me today is my experience. As you saw on the screen earlier, 1 win, 0 losses, undefeated, and we'll hope to continue that today. Yeah.
Do you have your sweater, though, today?
I do. It's in the back. I'm preparing for my victory.
Excellent. And how do you feel about this challenge? Are you super confident?
Yeah, actually, I think it's going to be another dominant victory.
Excellent.
So, Traxium, first of all, how are you feeling? First time on the show, unfortunately. We wanted you last week, but I was like, we can only do one.
Hey, I'm feeling alright. I'm a bit nervous to do this for the first time, but I think I will give you a good show and hopefully put some fight to Laith.
I was going to say, now, of course, as hosts, we don't have favorites.
We don't.
I'm still Team Traxium, though.
I don't know. I might be Team Laith tonight. We'll see.
Now, Traxium, I know that Laith clearly wanted to keep his strategy close to the chest. Are you going to tell us anything about your strategy going into this?
Well, I think this strategy involves like giving some independence to some nations, but we will see. I cannot talk too much.
I mean, very cryptic, but I'm sure it's an excellent strategy. Traxium, how are you prepared for this challenge this week? We told you about the challenge yesterday. Have you done any research leading into it, or are you leaning on prior knowledge?
Yeah, I'm leaning a bit in prior knowledge because I did some Austria runs when Emperor launched, like a lot of Austria runs. But I did some recent research to keep track of which nations are interesting to have in mind. Like this morning, I played a bit. And everything else, I mean, I was checking info, some maps, etc. But I didn't drive many runs, to be honest. So we will see how it's going.
Okay, so I'm guessing that both of you feel fairly confident tonight. So we will see how this all plays out tonight.
Yes, I mean, but before we go, though, just a quick number from each of you. Laith, how many princes?
On a good day, I'm gonna go with 80.
80 princes. Traxium?
I'm gonna go 70, but we will see.
We'll see. Okay, well, really looking forward to the duel. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you soon in game.
Okay, and
before we get to our casters,
sure,
want to get your reaction. 80 or 70 princes?
Oh gosh, I think that 70 is probably more likely.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he'll prove me wrong. What about you? What do you expect?
I mean, like I want. Of course, it'd be amazing to see if Laith gets to 80. At the same time, I'm like, ooh, the cautious approach. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible if he was able to get 80. So, well, we'll see.
But with that said,
time to bring our casters in?
I think it's time to bring our casters in.
Hello, everyone. So, as everyone can see, we do have Count Christo, we have Midgeman, and we have Ludi today. So
it's a pleasure to be here.
So let's start out with Count Christo. So this is all of you, man. How do you feel about tonight?
I think it's going to be a great evening. We've got a heavily HRE themed night. Of course, Voltaire's Nightmare kicking off first. It's a name many people in the chat will probably know and love. It's one of the best mods, in my humble opinion. And of course, it relates to the fact that Voltaire famously, and in my view, we can argue about this lately, incorrectly, said that the HRE was neither imperial, nor an empire, nor holy. But we'll see what they can do. Sorry, nor Roman, nor holy. We'll see what the players can do to try and prove him wrong by making it just about as imperial as it can get. But I think, 80, I was just listening to the players then. 80 is, Laith came at it last week with a fully formed plan. He executed on that plan and it went really well. If he can do that again this time and push to 80, he'll be a very strong contender. He'll start to look dominant. I know a lot of his braggadociousness is in jest, but if he can win 2 in a row that dominantly, then I don't know. I might start to believe his boast.
Agreed.
Ludi, question for you then. Now, last week, of course, we let our players pick starting nations. Not this time around. We're telling them to go into Austria. What do you expect to happen?
I think it's going to be a really fun game. We start with 78 princes actually in the HRE, so I think 2 is not going to be that difficult to get overall, but hopefully we get 100 at least.
See, this is why I wanted to
They're
go
really
to Lily.
78 now. my HRE knowledge is clearly several patches out of date.
Unless you don't count the free cities and you don't count the
No, we're counting it all. We're counting it all.
electors, then we start with 78.
Okay, I'm gonna be less impressed about 80 now. I'm glad I asked. I'm glad I asked Ludi. Bringing me the extra insight. Now, finally, we have Midgeman here today, back from Tuesday. Normally, we have you for a family affair. We dragged you in for technical reasons, which is also why we're playing at Speed 3. How do you feel Speed 3 changes this challenge?
So, a lot of the HRE game is tied to both events that happen with the HRE and also your ability to get wars done. And that's all going to be based on time. So the slower speed is going to limit how much of the in-game events are going to happen. We might not see the death of the Root of Burgundy, for example. So players are going to have to, really think about how they gain more princes for the Empire.
Okay, let's see. We should drag out some more information from these guys before you start. So, as we've had an updated prince number, I'm gonna force you on this point, and I recognize that it's unfair. Yeah. Let's hear your numbers. What do you think is gonna happen? Let's start with Count Crypto.
Well, yeah. So realistically, just within the HRE, maintaining the starting number of princes is not trivial. As Austria, you do have a really solid start. You're obviously already the emperor. You've got some really great manpower and cash reserves. But there's a lot of one province miners in the HRE, many of which are not city-states. You're not going to get automatic calls. And they can get eaten up. You can see 10, 15 princes drop off really quickly in the first couple of decades. So it'll be interesting to see if they can maintain that and how they go about doing that. There's one strategy that revolves around warning everyone in the HRE and then trying to border as many of them as possible so that you can try and keep all those wars to a minimum. In terms of releasing nations, there's quite a few that they can make people spit out if they can get into a war with them within the HRE, staying within the HRE. And obviously Austria can release a couple just from within themselves at the end in order to add a few on. I'm going to say, I think a well-handled game could top 100. I think, because when I was thinking 80, I was thinking like a plus 20 is not unrealistic. But I think, 90, chat has a good point. 90 princes in 90 minutes does have a certain something to it. So, but I'm saying, 90, 100 if it goes well. But I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if it starts going badly, the number could actually just be lower. I think 70 might start looking realistic if things start going against our players. We'll see.
Kara, do you have any more questions for our casters tonight?
I don't think so. I think that we could probably hand it off to our casters and get the gameplay going.
Let's do.
Fantastic. Let's do that. Okay, so just for the chat's awareness, today I am purely the man in the chair. And we have these two magnificent cameramen who will be handling the actual things. We'll pivot back and forth between perspectives as we were last week. Ludi, you were shaking your head just then. You reckon they could go more than 100, or what's the theory?
I think you can do 150 easily if you really want to push it in 90 minutes.
150 easily,
you
my
got
lord!
5 in your first war directly. You got 5 from the Venetians. You release. Padova, you release Verona, you release Aquileia, you release Dalmatia, and you release Montenegro. That's 5. Then you can do another 5 from the Hungarians and the Bohemians when you get the PUs. Then you can do from the Poles, the French, and you can snake your way around. It's not that difficult, to be fair.
You're not
more about
5
what speed you're going to be playing on, though. Bohemia, no, you're not getting 5. You're getting 2 because you're releasing Moravia and Lusatia, but you're getting another 3 from the Hungarians, though. So.
Yeah,
actually 2 because there's only Nitra and
get
Transylvania.
4 from Bohemia because of Silesia as well. The 2 Silesian provinces.
Does Silesia
if they get
not start as a vassal?
They do.
So
I
they're
can't
already
remember
there.
if they're fully HRE or not yet, though.
They're part of the HRE, yeah. They're part of the
Okay.
HRE. Yeah,
Understood,
Glogo
understood.
and Opole, yeah.
Yeah. I think, obviously the obvious early wars are Venice, Hungary, and then, I mean, you
France.
could take a, it's obviously trickier, but if you can pull Castile in to do some of the heavy lifting for you, maybe after 100 Years' War or during 100 Years' War, that would be good. I'm wondering whether the players are going to ally or try and balkanize Burgundy is one of the kind of main distinguishing things.
I think the right choice would be balkanizing Burgundy, and then you can also snake and get the rest of the French vassals into the HRE as well. Snake your way down via Savoy, Provence, and then you can release from Aragon a lot of different nations too. You got Catalonia, you got Valencia, you have Mallorca, you have Sardinia, Sicily. You have a lot of different nations you can add in, so a lot of choices. Europe is full of gems.
Sorry to interrupt, but let's get this party started. Time starts, and let's take a look at what Laith does to begin with. I'm very curious. We're just about to hop in and kick it off. If Traxium is already on the screen, we can potentially pop over to their perspective. And if Laith is already in the game, we can potentially pop over to their perspective. I like to see that Traxium, he's hedging his bets here. He's got the hints open just in case he needs some tips here. But we'll see. And of course, victory cards, always important. I'm not completely convinced that we still have the other casters with me. But
no, I'm here. Sorry, I was reading heavily.
That's okay. Good. All right, so we've got the Kingdom of the Empire. We're unlikely to see this to get to that event, I suppose, the incident in 90 minutes, but we'll see. I'm curious to see what Traxium does with the early alliances. Hungary is already trying to buddy up to him, so we shall see.
Yeah, no alliance is picked yet, but we have got an Ottoman, England, and French rivalry.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably their best bet of rivals, honestly.
That's pretty good roll. No Burgundy.
No Burgundy, no Poland either. So directly, it's their much further exterior enemies that are going to be looking to be their rival, which means they've got a lot of control of the HRE and the direct power bases either side, being able to grab Burgundy or Poland or both.
Yes, the England rivalry might be a tiny bit unfortunate because they could have potentially been leveraged against France, but we'll see. I mean, he's obviously, he's marshalling up his troops. Where are the diplomats going? Yeah, no surprises here. We've got a spy network being built on Venice and on Hungary. So that's obviously, what we were talking about, what we were expecting. Have to imagine Venice is going to go first. I wonder if we could take a look at Venice's situation. And spy network construction strength just to maximize the speed there. But the Venetian allies, I'm curious about. None so far. Okay. Oh, sorry, that's still Austria's Diplo. I was thinking he'd got very lucky if we'd managed to switch over there. All right, Lithuania is an unfortunate alliance. Will obviously likely get removed by the Polish PU in the immediate future, but we'll see. Let's take a look at how it's going over on Laith's perspective. Ludi, what's going on?
On Laith's perspective, he's getting a spy network on the Venetians, which is obviously the right choice there. There's second diplomats going around everywhere, sending warnings to people, apparently. And the third one's improving relations with the Teutons, but the Teutons rival.
Interesting play.
So that's a really interesting play, because I'm not sure why he's improving those relations there. Maybe he's trying.
He may not have noticed the rivalry.
Could be that he didn't notice, or maybe he's trying to get them to unrival him, although that would take a few years.
You have to imagine that that's a rivalry that could be eclipsed potentially. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, estates-wise, he's done a great job here with the estates. The religious diplomats is going to help out quite a lot with getting the extra relations with all the other Catholic nations around Europe. Did not give the admin and Diplo +1 mana privilege, which is probably not the worst thing considering it's going to be a short game. So we're not doing this for the long run. But
It's really interesting how that changes the optimal play. I find, like, I mean, it's things like that. What else do you think gets changed up with these kind of shorter term games? Because you really don't have to worry about things like, I mean, Diplotech is relevant, basically, right?
No. I mean, it's very different, but Diplotech is not irrelevant. That's for sure. You need to have Diplotech, especially if he's trying to go for vassals or subjects and so on. That's a must.
Do you think even if you could just throw, because you've got such a short term money thing, if you could just be on supporting loyalists, I mean, the only big vassals that would likely to get the Liberty Desire would be, Bohemia, Hungary, that kind of situation.
Yeah, of course. I'm not sure he's even going for Bohemia Hungary though, because he hasn't done the mission for Bohemia. You
Traxium's in his first
do the
war.
mission,
Sorry to
secure
cut in,
electors
but
before you even have the first month pass by getting alliances with the electors and getting the relations, so you get the PU on Bohemia quickly. This way you double your power base essentially, right? But he didn't do that, so I'm guessing he's not going for any PU, and he's just going to be minting all the money that he can and getting all the troops that he can to do some aggressive wars for the short-term gain rather than the long-term gain.
Yeah. Could we take a look at the number of warnings he's got going?
Yeah, sure. So he's basically warned right now as many of the HRE nations as he could. Obviously, this is done in order to prevent these HRE nations from attacking neighbors. So he's trying to get them to stop eating up the HRE. He's trying to maintain order in the HRE, let's say.
I'm sorry. I will be right back.
Yeah. So that's definitely a good play. How about on Midgeman's side? How is Traxium doing? Oh, looks like we already have a combat in Midgeman's perspective. Are you still there with us, Midge?
I don't know if you can hear me right now, but I'm having all sorts of audio tech issues. But yes, we have our first war. Hungary has been declared on by Austria. It was looking relatively rough at the beginning while they tried to deal with Trent, but Hungary now is being safely
very much
beaten
on the
back by
back foot.
Traxium. Yeah.
And is this presumably this is the PU war, or how did he manage to get?
This is just a take Pozny
No,
war.
just a
This
conquest.
is just a
Okay.
claim war.
So presumably he's trying to prevent the Croatian integration. Gonna presumably spit out Croatia, maybe yoink some liberations in there.
I assume what he's trying to do is he's trying to get a land connection via Croatia. He's probably going to take Pozny Hont. Maybe he's going to release it from Pozny and from Zemplin, Transylvania, and Slovakia. And he's going to take
and the Nietzsche release
Croatia to reach
Do you love
Serbian
to see a
and the
Nietzsche?
Bosnian lands.
Yeah. Transylvania might be a little big to try and put into the empire unless he takes the land directly and then,
I mean, he doesn't need to actually take the.
I think the way about that would be to directly add it yourself and then release the nation so it remains in.
Yeah. Of course, the difficulty with that is you end up taking all of the aggressive expansion yourself. Whereas if they can do it via nations being more willing, they can bypass that. But we'll see. I think the early play against Hungary is interesting because, of course, one thing to remember is much like the previous challenge, there's no requirement on our players to have a high number of princes throughout the game, right? They only need to have them at the end. So they might well find that the best approach is to, attack in, force some land under your control, force some PUs under your control, and then you only have to release the princes right at the end. Because unless of course, all right, here's a question for you, Ludi. Can players get the first 2 reforms done in this time so that they can start, or is it the first 3?
Yeah, of course. They can get the first.
In order to get the enforced one.
I would have done the Venice War first if I was going for the reforms, though, because the Venice War is the best one to get your imperial authority faster up. I also would have done the Bohemia War still, because getting Bohemia as a junior member, you don't kill their army and you get an extra 20,000 units that you can use in your early wars, which is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm guessing they don't want to do the reforms. I assume there's going to be a different plan here.
Yeah, because of course the advantage of the third reform is that they can move towards the offensively forcing princes into the empire at half the AE cost of annexing the land personally. Most effective against smaller nations, of course, because for larger nations you can take individual provinces and split them out there. But yeah, has Laith launched himself into a war yet?
I believe he's about to. He's not yet at war. He's paused.
But very much gearing up for the Venetian.
Oh no,
war.
we just started.
There it is.
Started. We got the Venetian
Nice.
war going. We have our target as Zara, yet no units around Zara. I'm guessing he's trying to get military access now. Yes, he has military access. There you go. So he's going to go for Zara Spalato to get the passive war score. And then I'm guessing he's going to rush for Treviso in order to destroy the Venetian army there. He should be able to do so, even though it's a mountain fort. Even though it is exactly, they have low morale and he can get reinforcements quickly afterwards, as long as he reaches them. There you go. That should be a fairly good battle. Let's see what kind of dice rolls we have.
Very successful rolls
he's got
early
some
on.
pretty good dice rolls. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, that was nice.
So now he can just sit on Treviso and siege this down. Pretty much, that's it. The war flag. Not sure why he's not going for advisors though. That's
I guess he thinks there's better ways to spend his cash just now. Although, I mean, at least like spy network construction would be good. But
especially.
I guess he's just very focused.
So we actually just had a small stack wipe over here. Bit of mismanagement from Traxium's armies. Two of the back-end sieges were attacked by Hungary's forces, and then they retreated onto the capital, which were then attacked again. Apparently I'm now being heard twice. I do apologize if that's on stream. Audio issues abundant on my end, and I do apologize there.
But Traxium, is that a mercenary stack in the north being raised up? I think I spy, with that morale looking like it might well be, but we'll see. They're pushing in.
Grand company.
Yeah. So pushing in to turn things back around, get things back on track. Hungary, unlike Venice in last week's challenge, it really does look like Austria is in such a strong position to start off that they're very much able to sustain some of these kind of early losses, especially with the extra income that comes from being the emperor. They're in a good place. Of course, the true disaster in this campaign would be losing the emperor title, which Austria could do because they start with no heir, of course. So, but it looks like Traxium has secured himself an heir. Nice. Okay, what we got here.
Still not getting the votes though right now, and as soon as they start taking land, they're going to have AE, which is going to be a malice to the opinion. So they really need to start working on improving elector opinion right now. They're currently improving relations with Aragon. Which is an interesting choice. Maybe trying to use them as a smacking stick into Italy, but I would be going, okay, I don't want to lose the emperorship right now. I know it's early, but I think they want to be starting befriending some of those electors.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Aragon is probably an anti-France play, but we'll see. What's the siege race looking like here? He's got 21% to 0 right now. On the capital siege race, he can probably get the peace deal he wants with this southern fort because, of course, Hungary only starts out with a very small number of forts, so each is disproportionately impactful. But pretty good.
Yeah, and Hungary has flipped to low enthusiasm as well, so this should be a decent peace deal for them as long as the sieges go in their favor. Actually, the capital fort might fall before Thames.
Yeah. I mean, it's always the way, as we were talking about last week, 28% in your favor, 14% in the AI's favor. You know that your odds are only just about even in terms of who's going to manage to pull that off. But we'll see. I mean, I have to imagine. Let's take a look at what peace deal he could get here, because he's presumably wanting to take a kind of snake down to border Poland in the north. Would be my presumption, and then he'd be able to release out a couple of nations
so
there.
I would want to do something like this, because this would allow me to add and then remove Dalmatia, Nitra, and almost exactly what I did. There we go. There's the piece coming in. Because that will also allow you to get to Transylvania as well. They've got to make sure, though, once they add these provinces to the HRE, they release Transylvania first. Otherwise, Nitra will steal that province. Other than that, that's going to be probably 3 extra princes of the Empire.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice.
There's, what's this? 12 plus, quick math. 71 currently in the Empire. So they've already lost some princes. It's going to be a struggle to get them back up. I think my... another war already in for Traxium. Moving fast. This is the Venice War coming in for them.
Yep. Okay. And cruising this one with the main war goal being against Scilly is smart, because that means you're going to be negotiating with them, not Venice, which means even if you can't take Venice, can't get across that strait, they're still going to be putting themselves in a very powerful negotiating position, meaning that they're going to be able to really bring it home in terms of, forcing through the peace deal that they want to see. Not the one that Venice, obviously, would be more willing to accept. And I think
that is actually massive brain right there, because once he sieges down Telia and he controls a few provinces that he has an interest in from Venice, he doesn't need to peace out the Venetians. Like you said, he just pieces out Telia directly, and he bypasses a lot of headache. That is extremely smart right there.
Yeah, of love to see it. It's the kind of high-level play that we're expecting from Laith. Sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
I was just going to say, it's also just a capital fort as well, so we're not going to have the issue of trying to take a standard, a level 3 fort, which in the early game is really slow sometimes.
Absolutely. Potential mistake being pointed out by chat, though. Can he release Transylvania? Because it's not the right culture in Semlin.
Yes, he can, because Slovak is in the same culture group as Romania.
Okay. Right.
It
makes sense.
He can release any core as long as it's within the same culture group.
Yeah, culture group is a good point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And so far, are both players using warnings, or just was it Traxium who's sending out all the warnings? I forget. If we take a look at the diplomat
Laith is also using them.
Oh yeah. Okay. Not too many from Traxium then. Just on Laith's end then. Okay. And Laith's Venetian War, as we can see here, going very well for him. Unfortunately, not going to get that substantially stronger negotiating position from having Scilly lead the charge on that one. But nice fight being taken up in Breslau. Or I can never really pronounce that province. Is Breslau? Is that close? What do we think?
Brescia.
Not that
Brescia.
Not that one. The one that there was just a fight in. Austria's province in the northwest.
Oh. Right.
In the west.
Breisgau.
It doesn't matter. Breisgau. Okay.
Breisgau. Yeah. Austria has actually done really good in this war. He's crushed the Venetians completely. He doesn't have the war score that he could get because he doesn't have Venice, obviously, but he's still going to be able to get at least 60-70% of the war score from this initial war, which is more than he needs, honestly. And I'm assuming afterwards he's probably going to go into Hungary with a similar play to Traxium. He is getting a claim on Herzegovina, though, which lets me know that he's actually going to be attacking the Balkans, not the Hungarians next in that case. He's also started
relatively easy low dev
right now.
Easy low dev full annexes to be able to then put them back out into the HRE. Yeah, and
Traxium
potentially
over here taking another military loss. Sorry to cut in, but
no, please do. Let's go over to
time. Yeah, not having a great time managing their armies. They've actually had another stack wiped by the Venetian stack who came up from Spalato, and they're now re-sieging Scilly. They're down to only 13k men. They've had to call Aragon in, which is going to waste some of their favors. I think they were looking to use that for Italy, but I think they've had to pull the ripcord here as they've taken some heavy losses. I am not sure because it was post the war.
Not an easy way to tell if we can't negotiate.
Yes,
but I think it's very unlikely he could have got 10 favors in that amount of time. Ooh, and that's a bad fight.
Yeah, it's a very bad fight, and this is the thing. I think Traxium is really struggling in the army micro across such a wide border. They're trying to split their troops so thinly to get as many sieges as fast as possible that they're just taking their eye off the ball here. And this battle is not going well for them.
Yep.
The server has been
But-
lost here.
Unfortunates upon unfortunates for Traxium. We'll head over to Laith's perspective while we get that sorted out on Traxium's end. But yeah, so here is the peace deal. What did we see in this one? Interesting.
Laith
Just grabbing
managed
a
to
few
take
provinces here and
4 provinces, apparently. Padova,
Mm-hmm.
Verona, I'm assuming this is. Yes, Verona, Friuli, and Zadar, or Jadara, as apparently they call it
Right.
in Austrian German.
Right.
And from Jadar, he can attack Bosnia and Herzegovina. I don't know why I was about to say Georgia. It's not even remotely close to Georgia.
What's going on with Poland's war with Herzegovina? What is that? What was the cause there?
Poland is attacking Wallachia, and Wallachia almost always allies Herzegovina since it is the only nation that would be willing to ally them. So I'm assuming that's literally what's going on here. They're just helping out an ally. Laith just declared war on the Hungarians. His war target is the province of Pozsony. So he's probably going to do the same thing as Traxium, where he's going to be taking the Slovak lands all the way into Zemplin to release Transylvania and Nitra.
Nice early fight.
And then I'm assuming... Yes, that was a really good fight there. He managed to kick their bottoms, and now he's going to march over to Trenchant to siege this down. He has to be careful, though. This is a mountain fort, and he doesn't have that many troops lying around, so he can actually get assaulted there. The AI loves the recent update in 1.34. The AI absolutely loves to attack when you're sieging down in mountain provinces.
Yes, as they well should. I have to say I love it too. Oh, and that's a really bad roll, I assume, in Pest.
That's
That
gonna
was
be a stack wipe.
stag wipe. Ouch.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen. Laith, he looks like he has it all under control, but one bad fight can turn things around. So he's pulling back now. We can see he's spending money. He's probably getting some mercs going to manage to pull this back. But as we were saying, Austria, they're a robust nation. I picked them for a reason for this challenge. They can take hits and come back swinging. And
I'm actually surprised he's not getting that many mercenary companies. Considering considering he doesn't really have any army professionalism, he can just get mercenary companies, which are cheaper than regular units right now up until military tech 7. After military tech 7 and onwards, they get a lot more expensive, not really worth it. But early on, mercenaries are definitely the way. So, there you go. He just started recruiting now the Krabats and the Grand.
Quite a nice general.
Yes, that is a really good general. 2 siege.
2 siege. Oh,
yes.
Mountain Fort be gone, we call him.
That is extremely good. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, this war, obviously, not many being called against him. Just Anhalt joining on the Hungarian side. With enough investment, he will be able to pull it through. But we've been talking about how Austria is able to absorb all these kind of losses. They can, but it is a race. So every time they get a setback like that, it matters. It certainly matters. And the braggadocious Laith looking like he's in a bit of a difficult spot. And good spot there. He is doing his best to get all the money he can out of that glorious Salts? Not sure how you say it, gold mine. But has he got the event fire yet? No, not just yet.
No, not yet, no.
But he's of course going to be trying to milk that for as much as possible, refreshing a couple of his men here. Let's take a zoom out. Have we had any dead princes yet on Laith's side? If we take a look at the HRE count,
not from what I can initially see here. So far, it's been pretty quiet in the HRE. Not really many wars, and in fact, no wars as far as I can tell. So it's looking pretty smooth sailing for him right now.
Nice.
I'm
back in control of the situation.
Yes,
he just fought a battle there.
Definitely spread out those units, though. Oh, he fought a battle there. Did he stack wipe?
There was a victorious fight in there to reclaim the initiative.
Right.
Midge, I think you were about to tell us something about.
I was just about to cut back in that I am back over with Traxium, and he just got the restoration of Union CB against Hungary as well.
Okay,
so
nice.
They've got that ready to go for later. Which is pretty good because they're at the point where most of the releasables are releasable. Like, they got that in the first war, so all they need to do is now get Hungary on their side once that peacetime is up. I think that's really good RNG timing there. They've managed to de-siege most of Bosnia. and now they're working on sieging Venice because Venice's army is just in that province you can't say.
All right, your turn.
Breskova? Breskovi? I'm glad that it's not just me that struggles with all of the province names in EU4. I'm glad that we share that, Christo.
The Aragonese call definitely serving him well here. And, interestingly, he's let Navarra out onto the capital, which is, that's certainly a move. Where is because the Aragonese came and smashed up the Venetian fleet. Oh, no, they're still around.
No, they didn't smash them up, but they drew them out. The Venetian fleet managed to try and chase down the Aragonese fleet. This was happening while I was loading in, which gave the AI just the second to sneak in, and now Aragon's actual stack is also in Venetia. So Venice is going to lose its capital, which is going to be big in the war score department and actually give Traxium here a lot of breathing room on this peace deal.
Oh, and a separate peace with Bosnia, full annexation as we had expected, meaning that he will be able to call that up and then presumably release one province likely near the end, or early, depending on if he's trying to push through those early reforms, as mentioned. Mitch, could you just check for me, which reform is it that allows the aggressive expansion of the empire? I think it's the third.
I think you're right. It's... Oh, no, they've changed where it is, isn't it?
It is the third one, though, yeah. Just there, yeah. Once you've got absolute Reichsstabilitat, then you can start enforcing it through war, and it's a really powerful thing to be able to do, because you can start yoinking whole countries in. No messing about, no coring, no aggressive expansion from the full annexation. You just grab them, and then you can push them out really quickly. But yeah, for chat, those of you that are joining us a little bit late, first off, excuse me, tut, be on time next time. But what we've got going on here is a duel between two players, and they're trying to, in 90 minutes, we've got an hour left, they're trying to increase the number of princes in the HRE, that is to say, member states of the HRE, to the highest number they can in 90 minutes, both players as Austria. So what they're doing right now, they haven't actually done any kind of active increasing of the princes. They're just trying to conquer a bunch of provinces such that they are able to, have people able to release at the end. Because if you're not familiar, as the emperor, you're able to add your land to the HRE. And then once you've done that, if you release a nation from that land, that's now HRE land, ergo, that's now a prince. So what they're going to be doing is sending out these noodly appendages, these kind of tentacles of conquest out in every direction, trying to get as many nations under them as possible so that they can then release them and work on that. Off the initial plays, it's been very symmetrical so far. Let's take a look at Laith's Hungarian war, though. How's it going over there, Ludi?
Laith's doing actually pretty good. He got a few armies stack wiped, but he's managing to get back extra mercenaries. He says war is hell. Yes, indeed. That's why we're lucky to be living in such a peaceful time altogether. Right? He did manage to take Trenton, which was a really difficult fort to take because it's a mountain fort, and it's usually where the AI is going to attack you until... Well, look at that. We got a combatant sighted, everybody. What a joyous day.
Oh, classic.
Stability. He does have a little bit of a problem here with Croatia and Hungary's army. They're sieging down Unterkarten. Unterkarten? How do you pronounce this? And,
Undercart. Everyone, obviously.
Underkarten. Oh, this is below Karten, right?
Mm-hmm. He is going to be able to inflict.
He's probably going to be attacking this. Definitely, He's going to get the defender advantage in this one. Yes, it is his fortification. Nice. He's going to be able to crush the Croatian army for sure. Let's see these dice.
Taking heavy casualties there, though.
Oof, I saw a 0 at the end, but he still managed to win that. That was pretty good. It's pretty.
Oh, and just missing out on that stack wipe. Oh, he spotted it though. Going back, we'll see. Will they pull a sneaky at the end to release all possible nations to increase the number? I have to imagine that they will. Do ask any questions you have about the stream or the challenges and stuff in chat. By the way, we're keeping our eyes on that. More than happy to answer your questions there. Austria down to 18,000 men. How many troops does Hungary have left in this fight right now?
Hungary in this fight has only 9,000 left right now. and no, only 6,000 reserves. Okay, that is a really easy war to win right there. But it's not just Hungary though; it's also Croatia and Anhalt, both of which have high eagerness here. Their war enthusiasm is still pretty high. So they got Croatia has no troops, but they have 9. How do you have high war enthusiasm when you don't have any?
They're all
troops?
about it.
That is strange.
They're all about it. They hold Zagreb.
There you go.
Ludi. They hold Zagreb. That's all you need.
Yes.
And there goes a sizable portion of the remainder of Hungary's army with a crossing penalty, unfortunately, but that should let Pest fall. And we'll see, yeah.
That's it. Hungary's done. What I would do is I would just start carpet sieging everything now quickly, so you get a bit of extra cash as well from those provinces while you siege them down.
Yeah.
And then quickly finish the war. They have it in the bag right here. I'm curious, what do you think will be the next war that they're going to have, Michael? Count Crystal.
I would say, there is... Right now, you can get an relatively easy play against Bohemia. What's the mission tree looking like for that? Because to get the CB on Bohemia is pretty simple.
They just need to get the electors to support. 5 electors have 100 opinion and back Austria.
Right.
This could have been done easily from day one. I'm guessing they're not going to go for the PU restoration on Bohemia, just manual claim, I assume. Albeit Laith is getting a spy network on Bosnia right now, not on Bohemia. He's not using it.
Yeah, and not improving relations or anything, so it looks like it's not going to be Bohemia. Ooh, interesting that we see Serbia getting yoinked here. One potential play could be to try and grab a Serbian province then, such that you'd be able to release it, because you have to imagine he doesn't want to fight the Ottomans. You have so many available targets, but not a full annexation. Was that a subjugation of Serbia by the Ottomans there?
I highly doubt that. They never subjugate. No. They just took Kosovo, what's really important in Serbia, which is another gold mine, and that is a loss of income for Austria, potential income at least. But I'm guessing they're going to be taking the Hont gold mine and keep the Hont gold mine, because then they have 2 gold mines directly. They can take another one from Keb, and then they have a 3rd gold mine. Eventually, if they want to go for Kosovo, they have a 4th gold mine, very easy on early.
What do you reckon, Ludi? Would you fight the Ottomans in this challenge?
Yes, I think fighting the Ottomans is not that bad, but I would have taken a different approach if I was to fight them. I would have gone Bohemia, Hungary, and then Serbia, and then Ottomans, because that would be fairly easy to do, and then you could do it before the Ottomans get military tech 5. But right now they already have military tech 4, so they're probably going to get military tech 5 in the next 4 years.
Pretty soon.
That means that if they don't declare the war in the next 1 year, which I don't think they will, because they don't even have anywhere to claim from right now.
Yeah,
exactly. Not even no real economic situation to declare in the Ottomans either. So it would be a death war.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be.
And obviously, old Mehmet is. There's the peace deal. Yeah, very similar, but going just one province deeper. Not taking the Croatian coastline. Interesting. But yeah, old Mehmet cranking out those military points for Austria. They didn't release Croatia. Okay. Interesting. And there is our first player added prince, I believe. Nitra immediately released as a vassal.
I don't think that will be a player. Oh, they're as a vassal. But here's the thing. Now it's relying on the vassal to add those provinces to the empire. No, or did they manage to do it beforehand?
No. The emperor, now when the emperor adds all provinces to the empire, it adds all vassal provinces which are adjacent to the empire as well. So you're able to force your empire adjacent vassals into the empire. In fact, you are mandated to do so if you wish to add all provinces to the empire.
Interesting. I did not know that was a change. That's a very good change, because I actually really like playing Voltaire's Nightmare Austria. Like, this is how I play Austria. It's a good way to play. So that's
if you've not tried this game,
to my ears.
Yeah, that was a 1.31, I believe, update.
We've just had the piece here as well against Venice. Taking a lot of land, and just going over to Traxium. You were talking about future wars. There's a really interesting one, I think, in this Serbia region, mainly because of what Albania has done and Ragusa. So Albania and Ragusa, just Raska, if they manage to clean up this little bit of Serbia, if they took Raska, Zeta, and Herzegovina, they could release 3 provinces there, because you've got Montenegro in Zeta, you could get Serbia in Raska, and then Herzegovina, and then they've got Bosnia as well to release. I think that this is the area to go for wars. But there's also something else. Ragusa is allied to the Pope. And the Pope, obviously, you can release stuff from the Pope. So if they can hop the water to Ancona, grab Ancona themselves, but then also be able to get Spoluto bordering them, and then add Spoluto in, I think that's where the next cascade is for Traxium.
And
I hope they've identified
right now
it.
at war with Naples, looks like.
Yes.
Okay, what's the alliance chain there?
Let us have a look. So the Pope is just allied to Ferrara and Bologna, and then Naples stands alone by the look.
No, completely out of luck on the Neapolitan front. Probably recently independent from Aragon, I wouldn't wonder.
It's been
that
about
is
5
really,
years
really
now, I
good
think.
there. He could even potentially really take from Naples one province, the Sicilian province. What is it called? Calabria, I think, in the south, at the tip of the
that's
boot, and he
true.
can get separatists to get a core for Sicily and Calabria, and then he can release that as well without having to break his alliance there with the Aragonese.
That would be cunning.
That would be really, really smart, yeah. Because see, that
I also
province
like
is
Ancona
Sicilian,
as a-
so the first rebels are going to be Sicilian rebels.
Yep. Yeah. I really like Ancona as a base of operations of bringing Italy back into the fold as well, because there's Perugia, there's Urbino, all of whom are kind of teetering on the edge of the empire, especially if you get the Kingdom of Italy, the Shadow Kingdom, and you want to be able to bring those in. There's a lot of OPMs that you can just, quite quickly bring back into the fold. So, I think that's hitting Ragusa has got to be the next best bet, but I don't know if Traxium's going to have identified it.
Ragusa with the Papal Alliance, worth noting. So potentially waiting for the Papals to get a little bit war exhausted in this conflict with Naples. But we'll see. Yeah, that is an interesting Albania. Is there an Albanian alliance chain right now?
There isn't. It's just a coalition against Austria. And the thing I was about to check is, what is Traxium's coalition? Hello.
Now
that looks a little bit fiery. Yes, that's a big problem. Of course, taking out Bosnia wasn't as much of a problem, but the big peace deal from Venice, that's looking a little bit fiery, my lord.
And land off to Catholics, obviously disproportionately annoying other Catholics.
Yes, and here's the thing: if they can add this all to the empire, they could use the coalition to be what releases those nations. Dispelling the coalition and getting what they want done still.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of releasing
but we have
nations,
had Dalmatia.
There's Dalmatia.
There's Dalmatia. Yeah, I always go with
Was it
Dalmatia, but is it? I think it's Dalmatia. I'm not sure.
It certainly looks like Dalmatia. Ludi, we need you to weigh in.
Dalmatia or
Well,
Dalmatia?
it depends. Do you want to say
for?
it in English, or do you want to say it in English, or the way that they were saying it?
I want to say it in Dalmatian.
Then it's Dalmatia.
Dalmatia. Okay.
Sounds
okay.
Good. Oh, there's the Papal peace deal. And we're now, we're approaching halfway through. Let's get a prince count on Traxium's side.
Yes, so currently 62 princes, 12 free cities, so that's taking us
plus 3 so far.
74, so plus 3 here.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Pennsylvania's out as well.
Dalmatia. Oh, yeah, nice. So he looks like is trying to release them early to get that imperial authority going. I think, honestly, we haven't really talked about what we would do too much. I think one thing I would probably do in this is I would actually disagree with Ludi. I mean, I'm foolish to do so because I know Ludi is a very talented player, but I think I would ignore Diplo points. I think I would be heavy in the negative on Diplo points, and I would release as vassal like everywhere I conquered, and just have like 40 vassals, because you would obviously need to try and keep them loyal. So you'd need to improve relations with them, all that kind of stuff, spend prestige probably. But if you could have like 6 or 7 vassals, it's so much manpower. It could give you a real edge, and it means so right now they released Dalmatia just free, right? I believe Traxium did.
No, they're a vassal.
Oh no, it was as a vassal. Okay. So he is.
These are all as vassals right now. And
okay. So he is pretty much doing what I was thinking then.
To back up Ludi, though, if you get behind in Diplotech, that puts a serious malice on vassal opinion. And there's the coalition war. Oh,
Traxium,
boy,
no!
Here we go. It's 94,000 versus 2 fools. Okay, it's 120,000 in total versus 250,000.
Who did he get in to help him? Oh, he's got Poland.
Poland and Aragon. He's just secured the Polish alliance as this fired, but this is a huge war and they're about to get stack wiped, I think.
That is
Traxium,
pretty bad.
This is looking
The question
rough.
will be, can he do release vassals in peace deal? Because I mean the AI does like forcing you to release vassals.
I know,
This
is what I'm thinking.
That would be one offer.
He's saying he's thinking about a restart right now.
That's always an option. That's always an option.
It is always an option.
Why would you restart? You can just check what the coalition wants and then give them what they want. End of the day, you release the princes, and they're still in the HRE, and you're still getting princes in the HRE, which is what your goal is after all, right? So you're basically not losing anything, and you also lose aggressive expansion from doing that peace deal as well.
Yeah. I mean, kicking out we were talking about the advantage of having vassals, and obviously there are some significant ones, but just kicking out a bunch of vassals seems like it could be doable.
Smart play. Also, you only need to take the capital of the leader of the coalition, which right now is Ingolstadt. Take Ingolstadt's capital, and then you are gonna.
That would be quite
much better position to.
Yeah, they've already been stack wiped. It's.
He has 25,000 manpower, and he's got a decent economy going. He can also take up fairly soon. I'm not sure. Did he focus on military points yet? He didn't, I assume. Is he still on military tech 3? I hope not.
He is focusing admin points.
He didn't. Yeah, just trying to get as many of those provinces coordinated into the empire as quick as he can, I guess. But yeah, I mean, the coalition is obviously bad, but I think it's not irredeemable if has he got Bosnia coordinated in the empire already? He has, right? I believe. If we take a look at some of those Bosnian provinces.
Yeah, so Bosnia isn't in the empire yet, but
okay, so it's annoying.
It is cool.
So he would lose.
But he can add it. He can add it to the empire as long as he has a connection to it, and it's.
Well, if they force it out of him, or actually, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, if he had to release Bosnia right now,
just gonna take it.
Yeah. As long as it's court, he can add it though. All he needs is to have the provinces court and bordering an empire province. Even if they're occupied, he can still add them.
Yeah, but if it's owned by Bosnia, then it's certainly not something he can add. But that's about halfway, and that's looking bad for Laith. Looking bad for Traxium, which of course puts our favorite braggart, Laith, back into a more favorable position. But yeah, similar kind of situation over here, but with is that a vassal Serbia that's been added to the Pokemon collection? I think it is. So we've got the princes of Dalmatia, Bosnia, and Serbia all in the empire now. I have to assume he's added them, and it looks like he's going to get the first reform too. But yeah, okay, nice going on Laith's side. Let's take a look back at Traxium, because Laith's obviously, he's doing well, but he's at peace right now, and we like to see the flames of war. Oh my lord! So there we go. That's doable.
Suggested offer. Austria will release Bosnia as a sovereign nation and Styria, which you kind of want, and they'll end the overlordship of Dalmatia and Nitra, so they'll lose their vassals, but that's it. And other than that, they're gaining princes. The suggested offer is a good one. It's 100%. It's not going to change any more than that. I would go for this. And funny enough, they actually keep Transylvania as a vassal. So if they wanted to expand that vassal, they still could.
I wouldn't go for this peace deal. He can actually do better than that. He can also give away his allies' provinces and lands, and he can make his allies release nations too. So he should focus on that primarily. Check what
he needs to peace out in the next 3 days, or he's going to go bankrupt. By the way, that's
there's the bankruptcy.
Yeah, I would pause, but yeah.
He has the option to. But
yeah, I mean, now it's looking like a restart situation.
He could get Poland to release Galicia Volhynia right there in this peace deal, and then Galicia Volhynia would also join the HRE, so he could end up making this a win.
True.
Can he do that? I think let's check the.
He can,
Oh,
because
there's
the peace deal.
Oh, he made him release Styria.
Bosnia is in the empire as an Orthodox prince.
Yeah. The Styria release is pretty bad.
That's a big Styria.
That's a
Styria's
that's a
not
hefty
looking too
Styria.
good, Mr. Stark. It's just this. I mean, honestly, those borders are quite nice if you zoom out, but that's
It's true.
It's a little rough.
You have to pretend there's
and
not
it's-
3 Austrias.
Yeah, it's 75. Oh yes.
Exactly. Chat has it. It's lots of new nations in the HRE.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Traxium's welcome to restart at his own discretion, as we've told him. He's welcome to restart at his own discretion. But wow, that was a too deep and too greedily situation right there.
Yeah, I feel like they just didn't have enough breathing room between the Venice war to just get things out. Obviously, they still would have had the peace deal. And also, look, they took parts of Greece. Yes, there's a lot of cores bound there, but they've got to beat the Ottomans to get that connection, I think.
Yeah.
Or into Italy to get that connection. I think this was too soon. There should have been war number 2.
Oh, no, we can't.
True,
we can't.
but
Right.
it's this area it still needs. Actually, with
But Corfu doesn't connect down to. Oh, he's releasing them down
Ragusa.
there at the bottom, though. Are they in
are
the
they
Empire?
in already?
No,
No.
they're not. Not quite sure what the
Interesting.
strategy is there.
I think
Perhaps.
if,
Perhaps he's trying to invite them in.
Oh yes, doing it diplomatically. Okay, that could be interesting. Is Venice small enough to get in the Empire eventually as well at this point? They've gotten the Italian nations out as well. Not
Venice is
In the
probably
Empire,
small
though.
enough, yeah. It probably is small enough. Click on Venice and check the war score, overall war score. Hover over the war score. The 2 swords with the star on any province. Click on any Venetian province.
Yep. Sorry, I was also reading the other thing. The 2 swords with the star.
Middle bottom.
I am blind. Yes, there we are.
Nah, 125 still. 152 still, rather.
It needs to be below 100. So he could feed Milan the 2 provinces, for example, the Venetian
Yes.
provinces. That would be enough to get the Venetians. Oof.
I love the Styrian map color, by the way. The
Oh,
Mughals,
it's a good
the Mughals
green,
of
isn't
Europe.
Yes.
It's a
No,
quality.
it's British
No,
motor
you
racing
would need
green.
to
That's
release
what I
more.
like.
I'm sorry, Ludi, what was that?
Sorry, I was saying he'd still need to release more from Venice, like probably give Ravenna to the Papal States and get rid of the Dalmatian provinces that Venice has in the Balkans.
Speaking of those cores on Venice early, do you reckon that Milan is probably like a go-to ally pick for this challenge at the beginning because of that?
They can be good, yeah. I mean, just making Venice smaller in a low... Well, no, it wouldn't be low AE because you can't get the actual reconquest claim yourself. The great play would be managing to weaken Venice such that Milan declared on them, but
Yes.
we'll see. We'll see. Look at that. Is that Albania occupying land on the Ottomans, by the way?
It
That
is.
is-
Oh, no, that's Venice. That's Venice.
Okay.
Albania's attacking Venice. And there goes
Albania
the
go
server.
beast
Traxium
mode.
is going to rehearse. Is going
Yeah,
to
a restart from
so-
Traxium, which we respect. We respect. It's definitely a valid strategy. But let's take a look back over at Laith here, and we'll see what the situation is there. We're doing a war against Burgundy. Okay, interesting. It's worth noting that is not a 0 score for Traxium, even if he were to stop there, which he's not doing. He was at 63. So that's the scores on the doors for him so far. Obviously, Laith managing to get substantially higher than that. He's at what's the Laith prince count?
Laith right now is at 65 princes, but overall it is 84 in total for Laith.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because
We
of
are
course the
including
princes,
everything, right?
electors, and free city states are displayed separately on that screen. So we need
So
to do.
for Traxium, it's not 63. If for Traxium, it would be 82.
Okay. Okay. So pretty good. Pretty
no,
good.
I had already counted 3 cities, I think, so it would just be plus the electors. So
Okay.
it's
Okay. So
70
69. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Oh, sorry. Yes, there's 7, isn't there? Yeah. Yeah. So what's this this Burgundy War presumably looking to release? You know, your Luxembourg, your Lorraine, your Nevers, maybe break off some of the PUs. How much can he get in this peace deal? Let's take a look. What actually could he negotiate for? How many princes could he yoink out here?
Well, I'm guessing he would take a few provinces directly because he wants to snake around and get access to the rest of the princes. So I take a few provinces, not Dijonais, Charolais maybe, and then he could just start releasing from the lowlands. Maybe he could take Luxembourg to release Luxembourg, and then I believe Champagne he could also release from
Just the random. He just randomly got a PU CB on Hungary when he already had one.
It's not random. It's in 1455. There's an event that Hungary gets.
Oh, really?
They automatically become a PU of Austria. If they decline the automatic PU, then Austria gets a.
Yes, the Regency event. Right.
Yeah.
He wouldn't need to take Luxembourg, of course, to get it into the HRE because it already is in the HRE. So he just need to release the province.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. He
But then
would
how many,
definitely be.
Sorry, good.
He would definitely be wise to get Verdun and Rethelois because then you get Champagne here, you get Bar over here as well, and then you also get access if you take the other 3. Yep.
Yeah. We'll see if Laith can take on France. As we can see, you know, the mighty can fall. Traxium had a really good run there, but you know, anything can happen in these games for sure. And yeah, Traxium was at 82, which is pretty good. It's certainly pretty good. And chat is helpfully pointing out we can hover over the Imperial Authority gain and see the number of princes that way, which will let us know the exact number there. Easy. 78 for Traxium right now on the restart, of course.
Yeah, the restart isn't looking great either. Austria is in a much worse position, mainly due to the fact that both Venice and Hungary have allied Lithuania.
That is unfortunate.
That could be like flipped if Poland goes, we need a Jägerlion, and they get the PU. However, if that doesn't happen, which is entirely possible, I think it's about a 15% chance in single player that doesn't happen. 10. Thank you for the correction. And you know, there's still that chance. And then if so, it's not looking good on the expansion paths right away. And Silly here has not allied. Silly has gone for Bosnia and the papacy as its alliances first. So this, I think, is going to be the first war out of the
more easily winnable war for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the Burgundy War until do yell at us when war breaks out here on Traxium side. But let's take a look at Laith for this Burgundian War because I'm very curious to see how that's managing to progress and what is the aggressive expansion like on this side right now, Ludi?
Let's check. Actually, I haven't checked. Where was aggressive expansion? Diplomatic was it? Coalition
and Laith is pointing out he lost
really
Vienna
good.
on a 7% roll. Ouch. Yeah, he's looking pretty high on the aggressive expansion, riding that 48 out of 50, you know, the ever important 50 line. So he's probably going to need to not take too much land off the Burgundians in this war. But yeah, good old Gore's revolt. He did manage to get the defender's penalty, defender's advantage rather, against them there. So that's nice and easy. And with only 97 defenders of Wien, they will at least be able to assault that as soon as they get a wall breach and yoink their way through without too much trouble. There it goes, surrendering already. But those distractions on the home front have meant that Burgundy has managed to get a huge head up on the the initiative of the war. Got all those sieges that they fought hard for now being taken away from them. What are the numbers like of the? What's the balance of power in this war right now, Ludi?
Well, we have roughly 45,000, 46,000 Burgundians, and we have 50,000 Austrians and company. So I think we're good still. They also have the hill fort in Franche-Comté, so it's going to be easy to defend this. You get the defender advantage, -1 dice roll for attacker, and 10% defensiveness. So should give enough time for the Austrians.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Challenge the siege.
Yeah, and as Chat's pointing out, because they were under 100 defenders, that's the auto win. Didn't even have to do the assault, keeping it nice and easy on that Vienna regain. Interesting, not going for the attack south. More happy to just pick off some extraneous forces, not wanting them to be around to reinforce. Knows he's got some time on French Comte. Laith not in a hurry here, but I mean, taking the penalty and then discovering that there's all those reinforcements around, that's a much less good fight. The casualty ratios are pretty pleasantly in his favor for now, but yes, there is the retreat. Unsurprising, not looking so good. Did get them to stop the siege on French Comte. They lost only 1 siege tick, not the most influential, but we'll see. So, Ludi, if you were Traxium right now, you're down a long way. You're having to restart. What's the big play Traxium could make to get back in this game?
Traxium can easily get back if he secures the electors, does the mission before he even starts, right? You get 5 electors to back you, you get 100 relations. You can literally do this in 2 months maximum. So by 1445 February, you got that mission done. You get your PU over the Bohemians, so you don't need to destroy your economy. You don't need to worry about manpower because Bohemia together gets 30,000 units with their 2 vassals adjacent. Then you get your union with the Hungarians, another 30,000, and you do this before 1447. In 3 years, you can get triple your armies, and then you start expanding. That would be the play for everybody. And you can still get the Hungarians to release Nitra. You can get the Bohemians to release to give you 1 province, and then you release Moravia or you release Lusatia. You can still do this at the same time that they are your personal unions.
Yep. That makes sense.
That's a very solid plan, and actually I think that is the one I'd go for. However, they've started with a war on Scilly, which is bringing in Bosnia, Perugia, Serbia, Papacy, and Urbino, which is not actually a very bad. That's a pretty good grab in terms of who they're hitting. It's just going to be down to the numbers here. They do have more troops, but Traxium so far in the previous showing has shown that they are a little bit neglectful of where their armies are when it comes to multiple fronts, and this is multiple fronts.
Yep. He's also going harder into debt than in the first run. He's clearly committing to the idea that 32 minutes now. It's he's going for it. He's fully going for it. Back over on Laith's perspective for a second here. Ludi, talk to me about the path to victory on the Burgundian War. It looks like he's pulling it out, but is it in the bag or?
Yeah, it's fairly in the bag. He's got more troops than him. He's got the mercenaries. He's got the money. Right now, let's see how many loans do we have. We only have 1,000 ducats in loans. That's really nothing for Austria. You can easily make that up with just your gold mine if you really want it. I would also encourage him to get a little bit more dev into this gold mine whenever you can do that. And he's almost about to get the capital of Burgundy, which is basically where most of the war score is going to be. And then he just has to advance on the 2 forts in the north, and that's it. You got the war in the bag.
Yep. Looking pretty good as we approach the final third of our time here now. And what's the scores on the doors? How many princes has Laith got under his control right now? You take a look at the
Laith
Imperial Authority. Is the easiest one.
82? He lost.
Hover over the Imperial Authority gain. You'll be able to get the quick count.
Yes, that is true.
The gain. Sorry. There we go. Yeah,
82. 82. Yeah. He lost a couple of princes, so he's actually below Traxium now, because Traxium finished his first attempt with 83.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so we're the unexpected switcheroo. He does, of course, have. Can he release Are there 2 to release in those the Western Venetian provinces he took, or is that just the one?
Yes, Verona and Padova, 2 of them. Yeah.
Right.
That would be the play.
Nice.
I would hold out on that. I would also give out the strong duchies if I was him. He's losing Diplo points for no reason.
That's a good
And
point.
he
Yeah,
could
strong
also
duchies is
get
definitely a good
not
point.
only Diplo relations, but also the subject's
Yes,
loyalty threshold lowers by 10%.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely, that would be a good call. So he's got 3 there.
Laith
He's got
is watching.
Good play, Laith. Good play. Coming up with that all on your own, were you? So he's got 3 in the Venetian lands. He's got Tyrol 4. He's got Styria 5. Is there? There's not one in Breslau or Sengau, is there? Oh no, there is. No, is that
There is
Tyrol?
Tyrol.
Huh.
There is Tyrol.
That's Tyrol.
But of course,
who-
he'd be releasing Tyrol anyway. So, sorry, say again, Mitch.
No, I was going to say there's Tyrol, but yeah, that would do it. That already exists over in the
Sure,
other side.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a weird split with those cores. That it's like both halves of the eastern part of the nation, but it still manages to go through those split of Constans and weird cores. Yeah, I don't know why.
I didn't know Tyrol had those western lands historically. Yeah, he needs the. Well, actually, let's not tell him. He needs to not have the defensive edict to save his capital right now, because why would you do that? And on the 14%, he lost it on the 7%. Will he lose it on the 14%? Let's find out. Here we go. You know it's going to happen. Come on, AI. Punish him for stream sniping. No, okay. Still no edict. But, I mean, that's a pretty tricky fight he's got there. He's done well on the sieges against... You know, they've done that classic thing where they've kind of each sieged each other. But it's not looking phenomenal. Oh, he's upgraded his units, risking the unit upgrade in order to... No, it's not a unit upgrade. So why did he just lose so much
No,
morale?
he hasn't. He's gotten, I believe, some mercenaries there.
He has a lot of guys over in Burgundy to be risking his capital. Oh, but he managed to take a nice fight, which has lured the AI off the siege. Nice. Very good play. Very good play.
Yeah. I'm surprised Nitra's capital is in Nitra. I know I just said that. It sounds worse now that I said it. But I would have probably expected Nitra's capital to be in any of the other cities here, like Spes. It's got 9 development.
I think it's historical
Oh no,
capital.
Nitra's got 14. Oh
Yeah.
no, you're right. Yeah, I guess this is where Bratislava is. Is that the capital of Slovakia? Bratislava? Should be, right?
Yes, I think so. It is there, yes. Right
It's
on the
literally
border.
across from Vienna.
It's very difficult to defend in Hearts of Iron 4 if you're playing as Austria.
Oh, is it?
Anyway, the war continuing apace here. Yeah, managing to delay that siege win without having to win a fight was a very, very nice play from Laith. I love to see that for sure. But the siege is going on, got all his... Yeah, I mean, that's why I love having vassals. It's one of the great things about this play, like playing as Austria, getting heaps of vassals. They do all your sieging for you. And obviously, you know, in an AI versus player war, typically, at least 2/3 of the casualties are just attrition on sieges. And when you're looking at being able to avoid so much of those manpower casualties, your ability to snowball and keep that map paint rolling freely, it really just amps up when you can get the vassals to do the heavy lifting on the sieging for sure. Yeah. The goal right now is Voltaire's Nightmare. They are aiming to increase the number of princes in the HRE by as many as possible in 90 minutes. They've only got 27 minutes left and nicely got them into that mountain fort, allowing an easy repel of these Burgundian invaders.
That should be a stack wipe if he's getting good dice rolls. There you go, he's going to get...
Yeah, that was unfortunate for sure. But still, doing pretty well. Let's take a look. That's in the bag now for Laith on this Burgundian war. Let's take a look over at Traxium.
So Traxium, like I said, has not been able to keep a good eye on a lot of their stacks. The Serbian forces actually stack wiped a couple of their carpet sieges. Not too many men, but still more than I'd like to see at this restart. They had to separate piece out Bosnia and Serbia, so no land gains there. So I think they're going to be looking to take land in Italy if they're going to be making any gains in this war. They were about to lose their capital there to the papacy. However, they have baited the siege off. And the papacy is going to be sent running. The papacy is also going to lose its seat. Rome is very close to being sieged down.
And that's 3 princes that he could potentially gain there, right? With the both the vassals and I believe Spoleto has a releasable
Spoleto
core.
does have a releasable. So if they take Ancona for themselves, Urbino, Perugia, and Spoleto, that's 3 possible princes right there. And the sacking of Rome, look at that.
Hey,
Plunder the
nice.
Curia,
Good
please do it. You need to do that. Yes, they did it. Traxium taking 1,000 gold. That's really going to help them out. And they can, they can use this if they want to buy mercs, they want to go hard, because the thing is, there is only 25 minutes left. I know that they had an issue with AE before, but I think this time around AE has got to be just a number if they want to keep that lead.
It does look that way. There is the release.
Make some gains. There is the release.
There is the release of Spoleto and the direct taking of the other 2. Unsurprising there. Spoleto, I guess they're hoping to diplomatically invite into the HRE. What's their current opinion about such an invite?
It is under the Emperor actions. Invite to the Empire. It's only 40 reasons.
Minus 38. That's pretty tricky. Not going to be able to do that then, looks like.
Unless they can get a royal marriage as well.
Yeah, royal marriage would help. They are a duchy.
Yeah. Royal marriage and privileges. I think it's doable, just about. And there is a war with Hungary. They vassalized Scilly in this? Yeah, they did. They also vassalized Surrey. Not quite sure. Not sure why on that one, because I think they've actually just blocked off their own path there.
Okay, so, but they're going to go presumably through Venice, will be the thinking. And here's the Hungarian war, wasting no time at all. Traxium pushing straight on in to the
but
that's immediately not going so well for them. Ooh, unfortunate. The reinforcements just not making it in time.
The reinforcements? The reinforcements got locked, so this might be another stack. Well, it is another stack wipe. Traxium,
not great, but they do have the numbers to keep this going.
They do, and they do have the money, but that money pool, you want to be using that as optimally as possible in the
that's holy money so far. Right there.
I've seen Traxium lose these 4K, 5K stacks everywhere in every war that they've done. It's just the micro play on the armies isn't quite there. The tactics are solid, but just honestly, the AI is slightly walking over them in certain regards.
The difficulty, of course, is with the never pausing, wanting to try and get as far into this as possible. It really becomes a whole different game to playing normally single player, when you can pause all the time. You can take work out AI movements. You can work out when you're going to arrive. But another fight here. Let's see if it can work out. It looks like you're taking the advantage to try and slam them in Wien instead, which seems to pay off just about. Although with heavy casualties on the Austrian side there. Ouch.
Heavy casualties and a complete loss of that mercenary stack, which is just a waste of money. Again, it's honestly,
at least
the guidance of these armies.
Pope's money he's wasting.
Okay, I mean, at the same time, he really needed that gain from the Pope, and that was an amazing gain from that war that could have propelled them to get. They're already behind. They restarted. But
have you considered? Mitch, that when the teacher says it's your own time you're wasting? In this case, it's not his own money you're wasting. I'm not sure you've considered
they're not mine, man. Okay, I didn't know Traxium was Zap Brannigan. I just wave of his own troops until the goal has been gotten. The
kill limit. But I don't know. The Pope does indeed, as Stream is telling us, have a lot of money. But he's pushing in for these Hungarian sieges, but it's not looking great. I feel like he needs to be going after easier fights. But I do respect that Traxium, he's restarted. He's sticking to the plan to a certain extent. He's not going wild. He's not going super conservative or safe. He's sticking to the plan. He's pushing. He's really trying. How goes the Burgundian War over on Laith's perspective?
Pretty much the same as before. Not much changed. Laith has lost some troops. Burgundy has gotten its army stack wiped. So now it's basically just Laith finishing off the workers. Forts hate him, as he likes to say here. The Burgundians basically have no more units left. Mostly it's their vassals. They only have 4,000 units and 1,000 manpower. So he grinded them down to nothing, really. Now he's just getting all the war score that he needs in order to get the most optimal peace deal.
Nice. Looking
Got some,
pretty convenient. So
Burgundian
what's his
siege
next
down.
play?
I have no idea actually. I think we need to wait until he does the Burgundian deal, because that's going to tell us if he's going to be rushing for the French lands, which would be the smart choice, or if he's going to maybe rush for the Italian parts like the papacy, maybe rush for Saluzzo to release Saluzzo from Savoy. There's a few other areas in Italy that he can get. Parma he can release also from Milano.
Yep.
And he can release Pisa from Florence. There's a lot of
Modena from Ferrara
that can be released. Exactly. Also,
Yeah.
a quick cheeky war against the Aragonese can get at least 5 nations released. Also, we have.
Can he get them
Toulouse,
connected to the HRE realistically, though? In time?
He can if he takes the provinces from Burgundy. He can take Burgundy and then snake through France and add everybody there to the HRE. Really.
I don't know though. With 20 minutes and 4,000 manpower, I mean, he could go. I mean, how many more loans can he take? What kind of potential bank has Laith got available to him?
He's still okay with the loans. He only has 1,500. He's got 55 loans he can take. He only has 15, so he can take 40 more loans right now. He's more than good. Financially, he doesn't need the stress. He can take all the mercenaries in the world that he needs, so he's fine. Manpower is not relevant when you can take so many mercs.
Sure. Yeah, sure. And it looks like he's just doing some home cleanup now as he's moving through. Was that you? Was that you on autopilot trying to take the Diplotech?
Reflex.
I like to. It's reflexes.
No.
Yeah. Oh, what was that?
The Emperor
Go
just
over
died.
to Traxium, please.
Traxium as Emperor, I think just died. He did manage to retake it, but my gosh.
Okay.
The pop-ups lied to me, and I was very scared because but that could have been really devastating. But he is also in a regency now for a long time. Luckily, the regency isn't too bad.
And he has a consort regency, I assume, so he can declare war still.
It is
a nobility regency. Okay.
Yes, there's a nobility regency. So I believe there is a war available there. Also, having absolutely no luck on these Hungarian sieges, and Hungary is really pushing in. Currently, this is a negative war score war, completely outnumbered as well.
Yeah. The wars so far, the luck on wars, definitely not going in favor of our players. But you know what they say: fortune favors the bold, and the bold favor themselves. So we'll see if they can turn this around. He looks like he's going to get 10s this time. Yes, nice. So he'll be able to push out from there. But we'll see. I mean, it's looking tough. It's looking tough for Traxium. He can get 3 out of Hungary, probably. And then he's got to go, I don't know, probably Italy as well. I feel like it's an Italian war to round out the finish. To try and, you got Modena, Parma, a couple of others, and at least he's still got the Saluzzo and Montferrat independent, which is going to help. And a Venetian war could go well. Who's Venetian? Is Venice still allied to Lithuania in Traxium's game?
No, it's just the Knights now. So we did get a Jägerlion, therefore Lithuania did break its alliances. That's actually why we saw this war itself fired, because they were also allied to Hungary. But again,
right, that's definitely good for Traxium.
Venice war. It's got to be a swift Venice war after this, and making sure that they get this land in Italy released into its OPM status.
Yeah, and only 17 minutes left now. Really coming down to the wire on these players making their final moves now. Over on Laith's perspective, what can we... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if we switch on Laith for a little bit here, we just did our peace deal. I'm not sure why he didn't try to get the maximum amount of princes, because he could have gotten 3 more princes from this peace deal. So right now, he has Bar, which automatically joined the HRE. Champagne, he did release, but it didn't join the HRE, so he should have just annexed the province directly to add it to the HRE. He could have also taken Cambrésis, which has Picardy, I believe, or Hainaut. Which
Yeah.
one has Picardy? Was it Artois that has Picardy? Yes, Artois.
Yeah.
That would have been another HRE prince, and also Nevers would have been able to add it manually to the HRE by annexing and releasing afterwards, or keeping as a vassal also works, I guess. So that would have
taken
given him
quite a lot
good amount of
of
90
Sorry, go ahead.
aggressive expansion. It would have been, because I was checking. It wouldn't have been
Yeah,
impossible.
that's pretty
though, 'cause
hardcore.
End of the day, 90 aggressive expansion is literally just south of Germany, all of South Germany, which is it's easy to deal with. You just have a cheeky war with them, and that's enough. You should definitely do that Holy Roman reform. It looks very juicy,
Yeah.
clickable.
Just clicking away. Let's get a current scores on the door situation right now. How many princes do we have on Laith's side?
Laith right now has 84 princes.
Okay, 84, and over on Traxium's side, how many princes have we got there, Midge?
We got the starting 78. Nothing has been released or added yet, so
78,
which
so
is
none
also-
lost at least.
Yes, none lost either. However, I think we might do soon, just for some Northern German wars going on. I think Volgast is not long for this one.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Also,
Okay,
Burgundy
okay.
is at war with some members of the Empire right now.
Yeah,
so-
Lorraine and Bar not looking healthy.
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, we'll see. But those are the scores on the doors right now. 79 to 84 are the current scores. Obviously, Laith in the lead, as he has tended to be. It's been a Laith dominant show so far. Traxium, though, I mean, he was really putting up a great fight early on. That coalition was very poorly timed. I think it came down to, oddly enough, I think the Greek acquisition, right? That was what pushed him
Yes.
just over the edge.
I
It
think
was a good
the Greek
play. I mean, I
acquisition-
like the aggressiveness of really pushing for those. Because low dev land, low dev, lots of tags. You know, it's what you want in this challenge. But
And I think it would have been a great play if they could have staved off that coalition. Well, getting the Polish alliance would have really helped that, and almost did enough. But I think the real kicker was actually Burgundy jumped in on that coalition right at the end there.
yeah, Burgundy on your
through
side
an
would have made a huge
alliance.
difference.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure that attacking Burgundy is the way to go with this whole matter. I think allying Burgundy, allying with Poland, and then also hoping that Burgundy has the dies early, basically, and you've got the inheritance through that, because I have seen it happen before the Shadow Kingdom happens. It is possible, I believe.
It can. It certainly can happen, yeah. From 54, I think it becomes available. So you have to get a little way in. But yeah, no, definitely possible. And then, of course, we're seeing... Yeah, I mean, in this situation, when Diplo points don't matter, as they certainly don't in the last 13 minutes, this is the situation to take as much A as you want and just ally like 7 or 8 nations. Just open up the Diplo macro builder, say who will accept an alliance, and then ally all of them. Because, I mean, yeah, so for example, right now, you could ally Aragon, Cleves, Lorraine, Saluzzo, Strasbourg, Liège, Ingolstadt. Just ally all of these people. And it really, really insulates you against... first off, they get less aggressive expansion, like care less, because they already love you. So they're less likely to get, go below 0 and hence be eligible to flip outraged. But secondly, just provides a bunch of numbers. There's a bunch of numbers on the side of yours. So,
I find the lack of looking at the electors kind of disturbing, especially as we know that unlocks the Bohemian PU claim. For example, to go down Ludi's line of thinking, which I think is an excellent line of thinking, especially from this restart. I think a pivot in tactic was needed to just try and be as fast as possible and have as big a stick to whack everyone with as possible. Because maybe I think that the last hurrah would have been, okay, get Bohemia, get Hungary, go for the Balkans of the Ottomans, and just try and plow through that way.
Yeah. You can see how
could have been
it's
quite
difficult
cool.
to make that... Go ahead, Lily.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Michael.
No, you can see how it's tricky at this kind of late stage in the game to make that mental shift, though. I agree. I think it was kind of needed. But the attitude shift it requires is really tricky. You know, you've been thinking about this. As a reminder, chat, our players learn the challenges the day before. So, to hear the challenge the day before, come up with your strategy, you commit to it in your mind. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This is the order. Oh, there's a peace deal. And just to pivot from that is challenging. Exactly the same peace deal, yoinked out once again.
Yeah,
and we'll see now. 11 minutes for Venetian War.
11 minutes for the Venetian War. I think that was a slightly earlier peace deal than Traxium wanted because they noticed Poland declared war on Hungary. And they would have had a chance.
Traxium can actually get. I think Traxium can actually get more princes than Laith if he finishes the Venice war quickly, because Laith's been losing a lot of electors because they've been killing each other in the HRE.
Yeah,
and
being earlier in the game is definitely an advantage.
Yeah, because of the way he did the Burgundy deal as well, he's basically losing out a little bit. 85 members right now. He's pretty much stagnated.
Close.
He's going for the Polish war, so he's probably going to try and get Galicia, Volhynia, and Mazovia from the Polish war, but that's only two princes, sorry.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's certainly... It's still amazing. It is impressive that it's anyone's game. I actually, this sounds a little hubristic, speaking as the man that invented this challenge, but it's kind of a great challenge, right? It has an auto balancer because the longer you get into it, the more the AI conquers people. And so if you have to restart, you get that buff of Bohemia hasn't integrated their puppets yet, and people haven't consolidated some OPMs around the place yet, and Burgundy hasn't taken Bar in Lorraine yet. So it's interesting how it could definitely still go either way. And with only 9.5 minutes left, another couple of princes fall to the AI in Laith's game, and suddenly we could have an upset victory. It could still happen. The vote is going right now. If you want to try and say Team Laith, Team Traxium, I mean, everybody loves an underdog story, and Traxium may yet come back. We'll see. Are we right though? Can Laith only get 3? Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, let's head over to Traxium's perspective.
I was just going to say, Traxium got a little bit lucky in the fact that Burgundy didn't take all of Lorraine, so Lorraine still exists as well post that Burgundy
really?
war.
Okay.
So so there is actually still a prince over there, and they actually haven't lost any from the Empire yet. So I agree.
Well,
with
Lorraine is.
I have to say that I was wrong. I forgot that Laith also has Lithuania as a junior member of Poland, so he can actually release 8 if he really wants to make a massive. He can release Galicia, Volhynia, Mazovia, Kiev, Zaporozhye, Chernigov, Smolensk, Polotsk. He can really release a lot of nations.
Oh yeah.
So
he's actually one of the.
What he does.
Kiev is actually one of my favorite HRE princes. I brought them in one of my world conquests and snaked them all the way to Japan. That was good fun. They're a nice little prince. They have some fun ideas. But we're looking like it's time for picking the final war. Traxium right now drilling his armies, interestingly, getting them ready for their final conflict, I guess. But gonna be finishing out some cores. Will he even have time to finish the second core? Doesn't need to, of course, if he releases. Oh no, actually he does. I'm sorry, because he does, because they need to. Oh no, they boarded Florence. Sorry, I was going to say. So the add all provinces to the HRE is a little finicky in that adjacency does coastal adjacency, as in 2 provinces bordering the Gulf of Venice, does allow you to add provinces to the HRE. It does not allow the add all provinces to the HRE to add that province to the HRE, however. So it gets a little finicky, but they do of course have the Florentine adjacency there, so it's not too much of a problem.
So they have manually added Urbino, and they are trying to core Perugia. I don't think that's necessary. I think they could just release them as a vassal and force that out.
I agree. Topical event.
I wonder if, like me, that Traxium is working on older knowledge.
Possibly. How's Laith's war against Poland going? And do you see him finishing it in the next 6.5 minutes?
He's absolutely ruffle stomping the Poles. I can see him finishing this in 2 minutes. He's got a lot of troops. He doesn't care about.
That is fast.
Care about economy. He's just snowballing with more and more troops. He's getting all the mercenaries he can get, and he's just focusing on winning and getting the war done as quickly as possible. He knows that he's got only 6 minutes left, so it doesn't matter what sort of economy he has, because that's not the goal of the campaign at the end of the day.
Yeah, just telling the players how much longer they have left with only 6 minutes. We're still going, and it's still very much in everything to play for here. Oh, and he's got but that's good for Laith. If we take a look at Brandenburg right now, I believe there's 2 princes in there he could release. There's Altmark,
he can release,
at least, and
Rupin.
Ripen. Oh, there's 3, aren't there? Actually, I think. Oh, Altmark doesn't have a core.
No.
Oh, am I crazy? I thought Potsdam had a core on it. My mistake.
No, it's only Rupin, and Ukemark has a Stettin core, so that's pretty much
right. But Stettin's still living. Interesting. Yeah, Volgast and Stettin both alive in 62. Not the usual state of affairs.
The luck on Traxium. He just had the Ladimus von Postumus Habsburg die whilst under his region and get a new emperor underneath them that isn't even a von Habsburg. They're gone in this timeline now. But that somehow managed to keep the empire. So I was like, what is going on? The Habsburgs are not in the world anymore.
2 deaths in 55 years. That is quite something for sure. And it looks like he's gearing up for his final war. Right in the west, it looks like he might be going for Burgundy. Interesting.
He doesn't even know what happened either.
No, I would
Did
be
my king just die whilst rising to the throne? I think it was that instead of inheriting the throne, he died. It was just couldn't take it. Yeah, this is just, the challenge is too tough, and the young king did not make it to the throne.
The coronation actually killed him.
Oh, it's a full Joffrey moment there. They were just getting rid of him.
I mean, that's certainly, Traxium saying he's cursed, and you have to understand why he thinks that. So over on Laith's perspective, Ludi, show us what you think the peace deal should be for Laith.
Well, first he should do a separate peace deal with Brandenburg, so he gets Rupin released as a separate entity.
28%.
And then
Yep.
Yeah, and then he probably wants to take Krakow so he can release from Krakow.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, Krakow is not the... Krakow, he could get Krakow also. I just realized that's 3. So he gets Krakow, Mazovia, and so he can go Krakow, Przemysl, Belz for Kelm. Was it the Kelm that Mazovia had another core on? I know they had a core in the south. Was it this?
I forget.
Yes, Belz. So he can just get Belz, Przemysl, and he can release from these 4 provinces, he can release 3 separate vassals. Then he can get another one from Turovas and another one from this province here that he doesn't have control of. And then another
which actually can't get control of because someone else is in a war for it.
Yes, for now. And then he can also release Kiev from here.
Yeah.
Or does he actually have Kiev from this one? He does already have Kiev from Zakarpattia. So he.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's weird. It's the wrong side of the Carpathians give.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Okay, so he can get 4 then.
5, because he can get Polotsk also from Turova. Oh, Polotsk doesn't have the cores. They didn't get the separatists yet. He has to get it from the north. At the start, Polotsk has cores on these areas here. So he has to get Ula in that case. He can make it to Ula though. There you go. You can make it to Ula. So you get 5.
How close is he to getting them to accept that peace deal? Because he's got one more, only 1 fort he's about to get. Oof. Yeah, pretty hefty ask.
He could
That's
get
a lot of Lithuanian forts he'd have to get.
Deal. That's an extra 4 vassals for this deal. Right there, 4 vassals. That is perfect. You go up to almost 90. What are you at now? 86. You would go up to 90 princes in that case. Which is
and they only have 2 minutes left, so he's got to get these peace deals done because in just 2 minutes, 1 minute 35, we are going to be taking some final scores. There's the peace deal, actually, more or less.
I just realized Ruthenian is not in the same culture group, is it, as Polish, so he cannot release Mazovia from Belz. He has to release it from a Polish culture. Yeah, or something
That
in
is
the same
unfortunate.
like Czech.
Yeah, so he'd have to. I think there is a way to do that. There's a Krakow, but 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Let's look at Traxium's final maneuver.
Well, Traxium hasn't declared a war. They've got the
but some provinces to release for Traxium.
They've got the Habsburg coup going on because there's no Habsburgs on the throne of Austria.
Oh my god!
So currently he's about to lose his emperor again. Saint proclaimed and gets a free peace, but there is either 100% of a murder or there's a
Traxium
70%
is at
chance of a
peace.
rebellion. Yeah.
Traxium can release Tyrol and he
needs
can
to.
release Styria. That's an extra 2 princes. He can easily get
that'll
2
be close. He
princes
needs to release them right now though. 30 seconds.
Nitro as
Traxium,
well,
release
30
the
seconds.
princes.
Come on. He doesn't know the time, so
Release the
just
princess.
they don't have a clock themselves. He just needs to go. The clock
Also,
succeeds.
Nitra
What's
and
happened?
Transylvania. Oh my god.
The region
no.
can
He actually match-
56.
He can match
Oh
with
my
those releases.
Come on. They're coming. They're
here we
coming.
go.
They're coming out. There's Transylvania.
There's one
Come on,
release.
click
There's
faster.
another. There's
click
another.
Faster.
Come on, we're running out of time.
That's time. I need to
time.
get that. Oh,
Let's take the score.
was
Let's take the
80
score
at
from
a
Laith's
time.
perspective first.
So
Yeah,
Laith
Laith-
is up to 90 members right now. in the
90.
HRE,
Nice. Very
which is
nice.
not bad. He also released Styria and Tyrol. How about Traxium?
At the end time,
Correct.
it was 80, but it's 81 now.
We'll
But
allow
it was-
81. Game Master will allow 81, I think. 81, a respectable score. Oh, goodness. Sorry, my alarm just went off. That was very loud. 80 is a very respectable score. 81, sorry, very respectable score. So what were the princes that made the difference on Laith's side? Let's take a look at Laith's perspective and see
gotta be that Poland
the winning
war, right?
princes. It's Bosnia, it's Serbia,
released,
it's the Polish ones.
The Polish ones, Krakow and Galicia, Volhynia. He released
Yeah.
the ones from Austria directly.
Yeah.
The Venetian ones.
And the Venetian ones, basically.
Bosnian. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Look
being
at
asked to look at Vienna. Vaith.
Okay.
Is that
He's giving
pronounced
it to the
Vaith
vassal.
or Waith? Nice.
Oh, it's
Nice.
Vaith. Right.
In the spirit of Wien, I think it should be Vaith, but yeah. Nice. All right. So, Laith is officially the first person. It's Laith, but he only takes W's. Oh my lord. Laith is officially the first person to ever win 2 of our Masters of Universalis Duels. He's also continues the first ever winning streak in Masters of Universalis, taking him to, of course, a 2-week winning streak. Very, very impressive play from Laith here. Final comments on this round from Ludi and Midge, and then we will hand you back over to the studio. Or we won't.
You going?
In fact,
You going,
don't
Ludi?
worry. There's all the
you
time
going
in the
first?
world to continue talking with the casters. So, Ludi, what was the? I mean, obviously, the coalition was a problem. You think, Ludi? You genuinely think that he could have fought that coalition, taken their capital?
Yeah,
and
he could have. He could have actually made a. He could have actually
see
turned that coalition on his side. You need to think about it in perspective. The coalition wanted. It's a Punic war. They cannot ask for land directly. So what the coalition does is they want you to release provinces and give back provinces. So because the coalition controlled provinces in Poland, controlled provinces in Italy, he could have asked his allies, Poland and Naples, I believe, to release stuff instead and return provinces instead, which meant that the war score would have been filled and the coalition would have been happy. He wouldn't need to give any of his own provinces away.
Maybe the AI is a lot less happy to accept that kind of thing these days, but it's possible. It's possible.
It was there because it wasn't the peace deal. The AI gave the thumbs up for that when I was looking at the screen. So,
okay, fair enough. Midge, what do you reckon?
Well, what I reckon is I want to see us 3 play this challenge. But no, I think there's a real merit to not releasing anything yourself and actually using the Punic Wars to do it for you, thereby negating that AE and kind of essentially getting what you want without running into AE as a number. Sure, you will have slightly less control of, if those wars don't go your way and you do have to release Styria. However, it's still adding to the Empire, and also just saving you some clicks at the end of the day.
It's true.
And I think you could just use those to just grow the power base via manipulating the game's mechanics in that way. I just really feel like that if you blob as Austria and the whole goal is to release things, why risk your ability to continue wars? And instead, why don't you just have your enemies do your work for you?
Sure. Let's bring Nora and Lady Magnus back in on this conversation. If we can add them to the call and get their perspective. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
We're on a gameplay screen, which I'm sure is intended behavior because I saw this one earlier today when our broadcast team was playing around. So hopefully, if we talk long enough, they'll put us together with the with the casters. But in the meantime, do we have any searing hot questions for the casters?
No, I think that they pretty much covered everything that you and I were going to say.
But now that we're stuck here, I think we have to figure something out so we can ask them about it.
What we can ask them about? I was going to ask them what they would have done differently, but I'm pretty sure they actually already answered that.
Oh, there we go. Now we see you again.
Hello. What I would have done differently, I think I agree with Ludi. The players, very understandably, the players felt they had to rush the objective. They pushed straight into it. They didn't consolidate. They didn't build a power base. And I think the Bohemian Personal Union and the Hungarian Personal Union, I think I actually would have taken both PUs, maybe releasing Nitra from Hungary, just by taking one province and then releasing it, but grabbing those personal unions early, giving you that huge power base, and blocking Bohemia from, being able to potentially block Bohemia from getting some of their vassal integrations and things by just keeping them fighting constantly, occupying capitals, that kind of thing. That would have been the main difference, I think. But you can't argue with Laith's results. 90 is a very impressive score, and it was a heck of a good game. I think there were some princes left on the table in Italy. The princes they did take cost aggressive expansion, right? They went for the Laith, that is to say, went for the Balkan princes, they went for the Polish princes, they went for the Hungarian princes. All of those take aggressive expansion, whereas releasing Modena, Parma, these are princes that don't cost any AE. You can just release them. You don't have to create the province, you don't have to release them as a vassal, nothing like that. So I think those would be the two main differences, prioritizing the non-AE princes. But again, both players, very respectable performance. I can't say I could have done it better, only that I could talk about how I might have done it better.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I believe that we are ready to bring our players in now, so thank you so much.
I think we're gonna sit here for a bit while we do get them ready, though. We both watched the whole duel today, which was great. I spent a lot of time putting info boxes on screen, trying to make them as stupid as possible. So the thing I wanted to ask you though, or just to get your input on, because we're telling these players to be like, for 90 minutes you have to play your butt off. How stressful do you think that is compared to like a normal air quote achievement run?
Speed 3 isn't as stressful, I would say, as say Speed 5 is, but I mean, they also have to sit there and manage the game, and they have to do it quickly, and they have to sit there and kind of think on their feet and go, okay, do I want to restart? Or do I just want to continue on ahead and try to kind of fix what some of the things that they came across was? So, I mean, it's really having to sit there and just think on your feet and think quickly and have that strategy in your mind of, if something doesn't go well, okay, now what do I do? Really having to sit there and think on your feet. It's not as, like if you're sitting at home and playing this, it's really kind of having to almost stay like 5 steps ahead.
I'm going to pause and I'm going to read the EU4 wiki. and then I'm going to figure out a plan.
Exactly. We're just going to sit here and pause for 10 minutes as I sit here and go through, no, you can't take that kind of time being in that kind of a time constraint.
It seems like we have our players of the first duel ready, so let's bring them in here, shall we?
Congratulations, Laith.
Hello.
You know what? We should start with the winner. How is that for you, Laith? Smooth sailing?
Yeah, actually, well, not at all. I think everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for me, unfortunately. I was aiming to get a load more princes. I got stuck in Burgundy a lot. I do want to say, a lot of people were saying that we should do the, and I'm sure Traxium had the same idea, not getting the personal unions of Bohemia and Hungary. For me, the aggressive expansion of taking those two and then trying to vassalize and mass release a bunch of different princes was sort of too much. I think that's sort of what cost Traxium there was the coalition, but I'll let him talk about that more. But yeah, I think it was very, very fraught. I think this one definitely went a lot less to plan than last week, but I still came out with the win. And yeah, I'm not anticipating losing a single round this entire.
Okay, very bold.
Wow.
We have it here. Twitch chat, clip that, and we'll bring that back later. Traxium, your first time up. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right now. First of all, I want to congratulate Laith on the win. I think he played amazing. I think greediness got the best of me, and I cannot fault the coalition. I thought with numbers on my side, maybe they didn't declare, and I was planning to chill, do the course, and then liberate the vassals. But as I said, greediness got the best of me, and here we go. So it's all right.
Yeah, I just watching that, I noticed that you had a couple of really unfortunate events. I mean, a couple emperors died, and then you had the coalition go against you. So you definitely had a few things that kind of did not help you at all. So, but you did well given the circumstances.
How is even possible that my emperor reaches age 15, dies, and then I get a new emperor, a new heir that has 8 years old? Oh my god, I was so unlucky, but I mean, it's part of the game, the luckiness and everything, so it's all right.
Of course, I'm happy you say that. Well, guys, thank you so much for dueling it out today. Of course, we will see you both next week when you guys face up against other opponents. Laith going away with 2 wins in a row. Traxium's first game, we'll see how we'll do with your duel against Absolute BB. We need to figure that out, but we haven't quite yet. So thanks so much.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Thank you, see ya.
Yeah, would you? I was going to say both people claiming it didn't really go according to plan there. Would you agree with that statement?
Definitely. I think Laith, I mean, he said that he was planning on 80 princes, correct, at the start of the show. So, I mean, he ended up with more than what he thought.
Yeah.
He did, but I mean, that's kind of EU4. I mean, you could set your sights to something different and it could just curve you the other way. I mean, you never get the same game.
I mean, that's, and I feel like that's also the case with numbers, right? You always want more. I'm like, well, I made it to 85. I should make it to 90. I made it to 90. I should make it to 95.
Yes.
So interesting to see.